Hello everyone and welcome to today's session regarding phishing and security. Now phishing has become one of the pain areas of today's life. What happens is sometimes some people try to trick users into getting some sensitive information out of them, and then they try to attack these users directly. Now these attacks are not happening at the solution level, what they are offering, it's happening directly at them. Further, these attacks are not happening basically uh, at a hacking level. So it's not something like, for example, if it's a Gmail account, the attacker is not hacking Google Apps, Microsoft 365 or something, but the attacker is targeting the user into deriving their sensitive information and then trying to attack on that aspect. And now today's session is based on making you aware on how these things can happen. How do you protect your users and how can you make them aware of all these things which can happen on the internet in today's date, so that you have a safer and secure social and enterprise email solution and also credit card solutions. So I'll be talking briefly on a few topics which was described in the mail I had sent. So today's agenda would be starting off with what is phishing as such, how does phishing attack you. I would then taking you into how the users are tricked. Again, as I mentioned, this is not related to only emails. I would be focusing on the email aspect of things, but again, it can happen with credit cards, it can happen with mobile numbers, with SMS, and all these things. But today's focus would be on the email aspect of things. After that, I would take you to how do how to do the auditing. Now, this would be an IT level aspect of things. Once a user has been attacked, what do you do? What are the things you need to take care if a user has been attacked? How do you protect? How do you safeguard them once they have been attacked? And I would be ending this short presentation uh, giving you some details on how you can protect them in future by giving them various awareness campaigns, and also how to remediate these attacks by using certain tools and products which can be directly integrated to your email solutions. So what is a phishing attack, and what is basically a phishing content, whatever you get it. So technically speaking, for example, in today's date, you might get an email saying that uh, you might get an email from me for that matter, but I'm protected. That's a different topic altogether. You might not get an email from me, but from a known colleague, for that matter, maybe John Doe. John Doe is one of your very good associates, and you have been dealing with this person over and over again for the last few years. And suddenly one day, this guy sends an email saying that this has been done. Please click here to get the thing processed or get the purchase order processed or so on and so forth. And because you consider him as a trusted resource or trusted associate, you click on the link, enter the credentials, and then it just disappears. The page disappears, or it tells you that this content is no more available. What has just happened is your credentials has just been leaked to the attacker. Now the attacker is just going to attack you, enter your account, and send out mails from there. What happens is a chain reaction is set off. So for example, if my account is attacked, the attacker is going to send out mails to all of my contacts. Now this is going to happen with my contacts, and this chain reaction sets off, and it just goes on and on. So to prevent it, we need to make the users aware on how it happens in the first place. We need to stop these attacks from the root. And how do you do it? Is basic awareness. And today's session is focused on awareness and how to protect users and how to make them aware to prevent these things. I might go above our 20-minute limit, but this session is very important, and we need to know on how phishing happens and how do we prevent phishing attacks. So, as you all know, the phishing details and the basics of phishing, it all starts from when the user enters the credentials. It is as good as a thief comes to you and then he's like, "How much money do you have?" And you say that I have $10 with me, so take it, even without him asking it. Or maybe he'll tell you, "Can you give me your $10?" You say, "Yeah, it's fine, take it." It's the same way with your emails, with your credit cards, with your mobile transactions. you need to be safe, and today's session I'm going to focus on that. I'm going to share my screen with you, and I'm going to show you how users can get tricked in the first place, and then I will be showing you how you can help the users if tricked, if attacked, on how to audit them, and how do you generate awareness so that the users know more on phishing. So I'm going to share my screen, as I said. Now, this is my account, and I have created some example documents, some example mails yesterday to give you a few examples. Now, I have a colleague, his name is John Doe. Now, John Doe, don't ask me who's this, it's just a dummy name. Now, John Doe has been sending me emails for the last few years saying that this purchase order has come, you can process the order, and so on and so forth. And whenever I get a mail from him, I simply start the work, I start the project, and everything is good. And I get the payment at the end of the term. Everything is good, and suddenly I get this mail from him. It's all the same. His signature looks the same, the from address looks the same, everything is the same. But suddenly today he sends me a link and says that click here to process the purchase order. I'm going to show you how it looks. So this is the mail which he sends me normally. So I'll just open it for you. And this is the technical normal mail he sends me. Purchase order, the subject is like this itself. He writes it in the same style. The signature is the same. And he always refers to me as Hi Yahya. And there is no doubts over here. Now suddenly, yesterday, I got a mail from mail support. Yeah. Now mail support is telling me that there's an urgent thing. Urgent mail is going to be suspended. Everything is critical. You need to click here, verify and validate your account for you to continue using your accounts. First point to be sure over here is your accounts are being maintained by Google Apps and Office 365 for that matter. Your accounts cannot be suspended in such manners. You are not using any of the outdated older legacy systems. Such a mail has to be ignored immediately. There is no mail going to come from Google Apps or from Office 365 telling you that if you don't click here and validate your account is going to be suspended. Such mails, don't click on these links, don't enter your credentials over there, and just forget about it. If you have any doubts, send it to our support team. We have a dedicated support team just for assistance. Our support can be reached by sending us a mail onto support@gulfinfotech.com. Now, I'm going to show you a few elements in this mail which let me know that this is a phishing mail. Firstly, Google or Microsoft are not going to ask me for this, so I'm going to immediately ignore it. Further, if I even click on this link, I'm going to click on this link, I'm going to take this risk for you. I'm going to come onto this page. Even if I'm going to click on this link, I'm not going to enter my credentials onto this link. Here, it tells me googlesharefiles.com. This domain is not owned by Google. It says Google Share Files, but I can go online and I can purchase any domain saying googletechnologyresource.com or whatever. I can put a name. It's publicly allowed. Google never asks you to enter your credentials on an unsafe website. The elements you need to look into over here are the security certificates. So if you see, Google is only over the SSL, it's only over the secured HTTP connections. So even if you don't see such things, do not enter your passwords. Even if you see such things, think twice before you enter your passwords, because nowadays the attackers have got very intelligent so that they might even give you the SSL certificates, but it might not be safe. So think thrice before entering your credentials. Where can you enter your credentials? It's only on gmail.com. If, for example, this is your Google Apps password, go to gmail.com or mail.yourdomainname.com, where you usually go when that asks you your credentials. Enter it, because you don't have to think twice for that. Otherwise, any link which you click and suddenly it starts asking you for your credentials, looks suspicious, never enter your credentials there. For example, if I enter my credentials over here, my Gulf Infotech credentials, I say sign in, it's going to send an alert to the attacker saying that this person has sent his credentials and tomorrow morning these guys are going to attack me. and you guys are going to receive emails from me saying that the same chain reaction which I was talking about. So this is a big no. Never enter credentials on anywhere except your official email accounts, which is gmail.com or mail.yourdomainname.com, or on Office 365 portal.office365.com, portal.office.com, or mail.yourdomainname.com if it is mapped. So never enter credentials on any website if they are asking it to you. So it's simply like some stranger coming to you and asking you for your credentials. You will not give it to them in that scenario, and same, do not give it to them over here as well. So this is something you need to be careful about. See over here, the links over here doesn't work, but everything looks very similar, but the security standards are completely off. Do not put your credentials anywhere. So that's one of the first limits. Second, I'm going to check. So if I see something fishy, something strange about this email, I'm going to do some more checking in. I'm going to check who has this mail come from. So it has come from Yahya at Rocket Sales Corp. This is the account John Doe is using currently. And the name has changed. Why has it changed? There needs to be an auditing on that account. I'm going to come to it in a few minutes now, but this mail is off. I need to ignore it. Get back, get away from this mail. Further, I get another mail from John Doe. Now everything is very similar to what he just sent me. His name is correct, and the way he writes is also very similar. Instead of hi Yahya, he writes dear Yahya. Signature is good, everything is good, but then again he says click here to process the order. Until yesterday he didn't want me to click anywhere, but today suddenly he wants me to click somewhere. So here I need to be careful. If I click, I'm taken into this phishing website again, and then if I enter my credentials again, things go off. Do not follow these websites. As again a precaution, if you're doing bank transactions from your email account, tell your bank never to accept bank transfers, as in transfer changes, in the sense that you have been sending transfer requests for this particular account and suddenly a mail goes, from now on change my bank transfer account to so and so. Do not tell the bank, do not accept such changes unless given in written, because you need to be overcautious with the banks and with your emails. Now some things I'm going to show you. This is how the user gets tricked. That's covered. How do you audit an account and how do you check an account if the user is tricked? Now I might go above the 20-minute barrier, but this is a bit important, so please bear with me over here. How do I check? Now I know that John Doe's account has been hacked, has been attacked. How do I tell John Doe that your account has been attacked? Please do an auditing on it. So let's take you into John Doe's account. So I'm going to go into his Gmail account. This account is created by me just to show you a demo, so that's why I'm logging in. It's here. So technically John Doe, so think of me as John Doe now. I am John Doe. I have been told that my account has been attacked. Please do an auditing on this account to prevent any further mails from going out or any further chain reactions from happening. What I would do, I need to first check from where has my account been accessed. I will scroll down at the end of the screen and I'll click on the details button over here. This details button is a bit small, but if you scroll down you will be able to see it. I click on it and I can see from where all my account has been accessed. If I am suddenly accessing from Nigeria, it is a suspicious account, it is a suspicious login. I need to be aware about it. I need to immediately take an action about it. I need to immediately reset my password, change my password, and click this button over here. Sign out all other web sessions. How does it work? It goes a bit technical now. What happens over here is that if, for example, the attacker has your credentials, they have logged into your account, you click on this, it signs you out of every single session globally. It doesn't matter your account is logged in from Nigeria, South Africa, Oman, it just logs you out, because Google at a security level is the best you can go to, and it has all these features like over here. So once you sign out of all sessions, reset your password, and then you should be good to go. Further editing needs to be done in your settings. Go into your settings. In your settings, click on the settings option and go down. Check if your signature is right. Mostly the attackers don't do anything on this page. They target the accounts and import and forwarding and pop IMAP. In the accounts and import, they can change the reply to address. Now the reply to address is, for example, I send a mail to anyone and they reply back to me. Instead of going to the original sender, it would go to the attacker. Now I have put my Gulf Infotech address for the demo, but this can be an attacker's email also. Now everything can be prevented by simply following the thumb rule. Do not enter your credentials anywhere other than gmail.com, portal.office.com, or mail.yourdomainname.com. So do not enter your credentials anywhere other than the trusted free links. All these things can be avoided by just following these things. Now, if you have been attacked and if the attacker has put in this reply to address, it's a very simple process. Just click on the edit info, delete off the rogue email address, and save changes. And it's all gone. Next time you send a mail, the reply will come back to you and not to the attacker. This is something you need to take care. Another thing which can go wrong is the name. See, if you see, I have said I don't want my official name to come, I want John Doe to come. So over here the attacker can also change your name. So if you remember, I showed you that a mail came from mail support but from Yahya at Rocket Sales. How I did it is by changing the name over here. I can change the display name, and every single email solution offers you that feature. So you just need to put it back to my official name, Yahya Zakir, and whatever is your name, and that's good. That section is covered. Next we go on to the filters option. Filters is another thing. Consider your account has been attacked and suddenly you complain that you are not receiving mails anymore. What is happening is you are receiving mails, but all these mails you receive is going into the trash folder automatically. So there are filters. You can create filters saying any incoming mails which comes from so and so person or from any entity, move it to the trash, delete it. I can have filters as such. Once I know about the attack, I need to delete off all these filters. This is the basic and standard auditing process we need to follow when a user complains that his account has been attacked. After doing all these things, you need to go into forwarding and pop IMAP. Check if there is a forwarding configured for this user's account. Everything is good, then things are very good. You don't have to worry anymore. You just need to go back to the inbox, go to your account, click on the top right corner, go to your account, and in your account settings, complete the security check. Now over here you have a two-step verification, and coming to that, that's something very important for you. Devices, recent activities, check over here what is the recent activities. Check if everything you are saying is good. Anything suspicious, secure your account. Click on this button. Everything is at a click. Everything can be accessed at a click. Change your password if anything is suspicious. Check your recovery. It's a process. So if I change my password, next it will tell me to check the recovery information, check the account permissions. Just click on the security checkup. It takes you through the security checkup for every single security aspect for your account, securing your account. Now this link was sent in the email which was sent by me. The link is there. You just need to make the users aware. The two-factor authentication and how can you protect the users. Awareness is the key to protecting the users. You need to make sure that the users never ever put their credentials anywhere other than the specific places they need to put their credentials in. Their passwords need to be good enough. They cannot, so for example, I'm currently using Yahya at gulfinfotech.com. I cannot put my password gulfinfotech123. It's a very weak password. Anyone can detect it. Even if I have not entered my link anywhere, the attacker, if he wants to enter my account, he's going to test out some passwords, and How do they start it off? They started off by the basic passwords first. I cannot afford putting basic passwords. I cannot put it golf info like 123 password 123 or Yahya 345. It's all very bad passwords. You need to give something good. You need to have characters in it, alphabets in it, capital letters, numbers in it. A good complicated password which you will remember. That's the standard. You need to follow standards. Now, when all this is done, you need to tell the users activate two-factor authentication. Two-factor authentication is the ultimate key to protect your users. You simply need to tell the users, enable two-factor authentication, go and enable it. So let me take you to this page. Again, I believe the two-factor authentication is there in my mail. If it is not there, I will send you a follow-up mail with this link in it. The users simply need to click on the Get Started button, and they are taken up with every single process. If you are a user using a security product called G-Control, which is another recommended product, this two-factor authentication is not for you. G-Control has its own two-factor authentication, which you can use. So this is for the users who are not using G-Control. So just to note on that. You simply need to start setup. Google takes you through. For example, let me give you a very good example. My Gulf Infotech account, my Gmail account is all under two-factor authentication. What I would then do, I'm going to try to penetrate my own Gmail account. This is a trusted account, so let me try out something. Let me try it over here itself. Might not ask me because this is a trusted machine. Yeah, this is asking me. Perfect. Why is it asking me? Is because I am incognito. I have not authorized anything over here. Now, even if the attacker knows my credentials, the attacker is going to get stuck over here. They do not know the code which I have on my mobile device right now. The code. This code is a code which is regenerated every 30 seconds, and there is no algorithm. The attackers or anyone on earth right now, they do not have any algorithm to define what the code can be. It is the most safest algorithm which is used right now. Uses the RSA standards and the same standards which the banks and financial institutes use. Whenever you have a stock market, a stock banking account, commercial or personal, sometimes you get these keys. These tokens, these automatically generating code tokens, these give you these codes. Why is that? To protect your accounts. Google offers the same solutions. Office 365 offers the same things. They call it the multi-factor authentication. Google calls it the two-step verification. Either platforms you're on, use this so that your accounts can be protected. I cannot simply enter random characters and say verify. I cannot enter. I need the specific code from my mobile device. If you're worried about, will I be asked about the codes every single time when I access it? Don't worry about it. Just check this box. You just authorize this particular machine, the machine you completely use with the code. The next code would be asked after 30 days. And that's something you need to consider for security purposes. That's two-factor authentication. Now, before I finish off the sessions and open up for the question answers, I would like to show you how to further protect your account if you are not willing to go with two-factor authentication. Again, the two core account protection strategies, user protection strategies as awareness, and then two-factor authentication. But as a services company, we do have products to prevent you from getting tricked into such trap holes. Now, products like Mimecast, so for example, you have been attacked or you want to prevent attacks. Mimecast offers something known as target threat protection. Target threat protection is an element which then checks for these links if it is a phishing attack link or not. If it is, then it doesn't allow these users to enter these links in the first place because they just block it off in the first place and the users cannot enter the credentials itself. Second one is, if the attack has happened already, you want the data for these users. You need something of a backup solution. The backup solution we recommend is spanning backup. Why is that? Because the attackers these days, they can delete your emails, they can delete your contacts, they can delete whatever you have if attacked. If in case the awareness was not good, the users have not enabled two-factor authentication, and unfortunately the attack has happened, the data has gone. How do you restore this data? Best option is spanning backup. Spanning backup offers you options to restore back the data at a single click. It backs up your calendars, contacts, your drive, your emails, and every single thing Google offers you. So spanning backup is a remediation tool in case of a phishing attack, and in case to protect your data, because your data is sensitive, your data needs to be protected. Further, you have a tool called G-Control. G-Control is a product which can protect your account in multiple other ways. For example, you can restrict your account from being accessed from different locations by giving IP restrictions. IP restrictions, in a way, you would need static IP, static public IP from your ISP. If you have that, you can give in a policy saying that so and so user can only log in from this particular IP. They cannot log in from an outside IP. So whenever username and password, even if it is correct, comes in, they would be told that you cannot log in. It is out of the policy. You cannot log in. So these things can also be achieved via G-Control. So these are the products, and that's the awareness which I wanted to show you. So I'm going to open the doors for question and answers, but again, before I do that, I want to stress on a factor. Awareness is the key to protecting your users. Tell your users, do not put credentials anywhere and everywhere. And this does not apply only to your emails, it also applies to your credit card information. Educate the users not to accept phone calls from strangers, as in some people, they call and say that I'm from so and so department, you have won $10,000. Do not accept it. It might be lucrative. Do not accept it. It's a phishing attack. Some people send SMS. Some people send emails saying that I'm the son of king of so and so country. Send me these details. I would like to share my inheritance with you. They're tricking you. Don't get into the trap. And the traps which I showed you. These are attacks which happen at a daily basis and not focused on emails. It can happen on any single platform you are on. It can happen over Facebook. It can happen over LinkedIn. It can happen over Google Apps, Office 365, SMS, your internet service provider. Phishing is a global thing. It can only be tackled with awareness. And today's session is focusing on the awareness. And I'd like to open up to the questions which we have. Atia? Atia, do we have any questions?
Yes, I've actually even opened up the question panel here on the side, so if anyone has any questions. Also, one of the questions that I had is phishing limited just to emails? And I know you covered that it goes into credit cards and phone calls, but what about just general online browsing? How do they, can they send emails from there, or from cookies, or from...
That's a good question. Online browsing. So if you might have noticed, as a general thing, whenever you install a software, sometimes it also installs these malwares. And these malwares, they get embedded into your Firefox browsers, into your Chrome browsers. And whenever you like open a website, this thing comes in, pops up suddenly and throws in advertisements to you. You click on an advertisement and it throws things at you, saying that this is such and such website, enter your details, and then we'll give you a reward. That's phishing. Sometimes what happens is these redirect you to some pages saying that we are so and so company, we will give you these things as a complimentary service. You just need to give us your details, how to reach you and all these factors, and we will give you this thing for complimentary. Put us in touch with your manager, and so on and so forth. You give these details, they will start a targeted attack onto your accounts. So phishing is not only limited to emails, it can also be through advertisements. So as a thumb rule, do not install softwares which are which seem fake, which seem suspicious. It might look good, it might be free, but do not install it, because these free softwares, because business is done on money. Nobody is going to provide you free software just for free, just for fun. There are open source softwares which are amazing for free. Phishing, it's spyware, malware protected. These are amazing softwares. Let us know if you want any, and we can recommend it to you. But as a thumb rule, if you see on a website, YouTube downloader, free software, install this, and all these YouTube applications will be, YouTube videos will be downloaded, or for that matter, cracking softwares, cracking applications. These might these might be a start of phishing activities. Auditing policies, as a general thing, these are not safe. These are not practices which should be followed in an enterprise. Enterprise should always maintain licensed equipments, licensed softwares. Should have policies for the users which do not allow users to download softwares, download applications of their choice. If the admin wants something, they will push it from their Active Directory or from whatever solution they use to push in softwares. They need to have controls over the users. They need to monitor these users, and that's the answer to all these things.
Okay, so that was good. But what about, okay, one more question. What about apps? When you download apps from the App Store, is that something that is monitored by?
That's a very good question. That's a very good question. So let me broaden the question a bit. If we are considering apps for Google apps from the Chrome Web Store, which is the Chrome marketplace maintained by Google. I will also include the Apple App Store, which is for your mobile devices, Google's Play Store, which is for your Android mobile devices as well. Is it safe to install these applications? And I'll also be telling you a small joke after this. It's not a joke, it's some kind of a trick which the developer used. Now, any application on these platforms, Google Play Store, Apple App Store, Google's Chrome Web Store, Google's Marketplace for Google Apps, and any validated application center, they have a stringent policy to accept applications. If an application is built by a developer, for example, I build an application, I tell Google, I want to host it in the Google Marketplace. Can you host it for me? Now my application goes through an auditing policy. It goes through stringent checks. It checks for it checks if it is a malicious application. Can it impact whatever I'm doing? Can it impact the security I'm using? So it's all stabilized by Google, and then once it's good, it is launched onto your web stores and application centers. That's something which Google takes care. But again, do not install applications just like that, because when, for example, I create an application, Google accepts it, but then in my application guideline I say that I want the user's email information, contact information, calendar information, and then I will be able to provide you with this facility. Now you need to consider this facility. Is it important for you? Is it worth to give this application your details so that you get these applications, so that you get these analysis done by that application? If everything is good, consult your IT team. IT team will then audit on that application. If it's good, then go for it. Just don't get an application and try it out. It might be harmful. Now the point I was coming to is, there was an application built over like 8 months back. It was an antivirus application built for the Android devices. And why I am bringing this up is because it's a bit funny. So this guy, this developer, he built this application and he launched it on the marketplace. He got it approved by Google because the product guideline was according to what he had maintained it. And there were like a million purchases. They all paid 99 cents. It's not a big deal for the users. And they purchased a million copies of this application. They start using it. and everyone's very fascinated by this application. What is it? It's an antivirus scanning tool for your Android device. What happens? You install it, you click on this thing called scan. It waits for 5 minutes. It says analyzing, it shows checking all the files are intact, has it been attacked, and things like that. And when you finish all the 5 minutes or 10 minutes, it says your device is completely protected, and the users are happy. They go and recommend it to the other users. After like a few weeks of launching it, the users, one of the developers, other third-party developers, found out about this application, and they spoke to Google about it. Google did another investigation on this application and found out that this application is not doing anything. It's just showing a screen. It is allowing you to click on this button. It runs an animation saying that your device is being scanned, and after a particular time, it says your device has been completely scanned. The device is protected and it's good to go. And Google immediately took this application down from the marketplace, from the Play Store, and refunded everyone's 99 cents. Google, as a company, they are devoted to security and users' satisfaction. So you don't have to worry on that aspect. I went a bit deep into this topic because it 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 requires a depth analysis into it. It is a serious topic. Any other questions, Atya?
No, that was good. Thank you so much.
Perfect. So you guys can anyone, if you have any questions, you can send us a mail on cloud@gulfinfotech.com. We take in questions from any one of you, and we will answer it for you completely. Thank you for attending this session. I really appreciate your time. I'm sorry if I have gone above the 20-minute barrier which I had set. But once again, thank you for viewing, and thank you. Bye.